The
The
crown
crown rules of Hamzatul Wasal.
Let's break down the crown rules of Hamzatul Wasl in verbs. First, we will understand the Dhamma and Kasra rules. Think of Hamzatul Wasl as a queen. She doesn't choose her crown by herself. She looks at the third letter of the verb and follows its influence. So the rule is very simple. Check the verb, look at the third letter. That letter will decide the crown, the haraka on Hamzatul Wasl. If the third letter has a dhamma, Hamzatul Wasl wears a crown of dhamma. Example, udkhuli. Here the third letter is kha with the dhamma. Hamzatul Wasl will wear the crown of dhamma and will start with the dhamma. Another example, ushdud. The third letter, dal, has a dhamma. So the Hamzatul Wasl starts with dhamma, ushdud. If the third letter has a kasra, Hamzatul Wasl wears a kasra crown. Example, ihdina. Here, third letter, which is dal, has a kasra. Hamzatul Wasl start with kasra. Ihdina. Another example is irji'i. Third letter, jim, has a kasra. Hamzatul Wasl starts here with a kasra. Irji'i. If the third letter of the word had a fatha, she must wear a crown of kasra. Hamzatul Wasl wears a kasra crown. Example, idhab. Third letter is ha with the fatha. Hamzatul Wasl starts with kasra over here. Idhab. Another example is iqtarabat. Third letter is ta with the fatha. Hamzatul Wasl here will start with kasra. اقتربت. Normally, the rule says if the third letter has a dhamma, then Hamzatul Wasl also takes dhamma. But in this special house, there are 5 guests who break this rule. These are the 5 exception verbs. Iqdu, ibnu, imshu, itu, imdu. Instead of following dhamma, they take kasra on Hamzatul Wasl. Why? Because in their original form, there was a ya before the waw. So remember, the third letter actually had kasra, not dhamma, followed by a ya. After that, the ya was dropped and the third letter entered a new position followed by a waw. So it took a dhamma, but this dhamma is not original. It came later. The effect of the original kasra stayed. So Hamzatul Wasl did not change. That's why we end up with kasra on Hamzatul Wasl and dhamma on the third letter. Even though you now know how to start these verbs, you will almost never begin recitation with them because they usually do not appear at the start of an ayah or after a stop sign except for this verb, and this is how it is pronounced.
أم لهم شرك في السماوات ائتوني بكتاب من قبل هذا.
So when we continue reading Hamzatul Wasl, it drops just as you would expect. Then we pronounce Hamzatul Qata that comes right after it in the normal way. However, if we start from this word, we pronounce it differently.
ائتوني بكتاب من قبل هذا.
First, we read Hamzatul Wasl with a kasra, exactly as we explained earlier. But then, to make the pronunciation easier and lighter, Hamzatul Qata is changed into a ya. This keeps the recitation smooth and correct while following the Tajweed rules perfect. So remember, Hamzatul Wasal follows the third letter. That letter decides her crown. Even the exception verbs have a reason. Once you know it, they are no longer confusing for you. Keep checking the rules and recitation will become easy for you. See you in the next lesson, inshallah.